It's said that there are 5 stages of grief, and I'm in no position to argue anything to contradict that. But I would like to add that I think there are 2 stages to dealing with thieving ticket agents and their appalling customer services. Especially if the thieving ticket agent is called Eventim. The 2 stages I've identified are 1. Getting angry, and 2. Being rather flippant. Just to give you the background of what I've just been through, I booked online about a month or so ago some tickets to go and see Pat Metheny at the Hammersmith Apollo. Very excited about that, not seen him live before, really looking forward to it. So I paid for the tickets and I paid a booking fee of about £19 I think, plus postage of £2.50. I thought, wow, that's a lot, but oh well, at least that'll ensure that I get my tickets and there'll be no fuss, and if anything goes wrong then I've paid for these people to make sure everything gets fixed. That should guarantee that, shouldn't it? Did it bollocks. The tickets were confirmed as shipped about a day or maybe 2 after I had ordered them. Then a week went by and I didn't get them, so I thought, oh well, that's odd, I should get in touch. So I got in touch with the Eventim customer services through their website, explaining what was going on, and I got a fairly prompt response saying, okay, well, if the tickets have been lost, you can wait until 5 days before the event and then arrange to collect them from the venue on the day. And I just wrote back and said, well, given that it's been over a week and I haven't got them, you know, things can go wrong in that time. It'd be very, very foolish to leave it until 5 days before the event, so perhaps you could just send them out in the post, please. And just to be safe, it'd be best to use recorded delivery, I think, to make sure nothing goes wrong this time. I've paid well over £20 to cover this, so it's not an unreasonable request. Eventually I got an email back saying that they couldn't send them out again, and that was just their policy, as if that was some kind of genuine reason why you couldn't do it. And that annoyed me a lot, so I phoned them up, and after speaking to another policy parroting drone, I was handed to a manager who first attempted to fob me off with the same stuff that her colleagues had been giving me. And then she tried to suggest it was there to prevent ticket fraud. So I pointed out, well, I'd paid my money, the only people who hadn't actually kept up their end was Eventim, so if anyone's guilty of fraud it's them. But the best I could get out of her was a promise to phone the venue and see what she could do. And then a few hours later, just before the close of business, so that I wouldn't be able to phone them back the same day, I got this email, in which she said, please accept our apologies that you have not received your tickets. Whilst we understand and can sympathise with your request, we do not redispatch tickets. Lovely comma splices there, there should be about 3 sentences, but never mind. Duplicate tickets will now be made available to you for collection at the venue box office from 6 PM on the day of the event. Oh, I see, so you're able to suspend the policy about waiting until 5 days before the event. Well, that's something. Duplicate tickets will be held under your name and address details. In order to collect your tickets, please ensure that you have your payment card with you and your order number. If your payment card is not available, please take a valid form of ID. So I was very angry at being fobbed off again like this, so I wrote back this email. Dear Becky, thank you for your email. You appear to be asking me to wait until the very last minute, an hour before the start time of the event, and the closing time of your telephone lines, to find out whether or not I will be admitted to the event for which I have paid a considerable fee. Thus, should the tickets not be available, I and the 3 others in my party will have no means of gaining admittance, having been willfully frustrated at every attempt to take sensible precautions to negate such a disastrous outcome. Not only do I have to risk missing out, with no assurance other than an email of the same nature as the one which assured I would receive the tickets by post 2 weeks ago, but I have to spend the intervening period worrying and stressing over what the eventual outcome will be. I'm also taking on the responsibility of planning an outing for the group. For it to be out of my hands as to whether or not the outing will be ruined due to uncertainty over the tickets I have paid for is wholly unacceptable. You also have made no acknowledgement of Eventim's failure to provide the services for which I paid fees in excess of £20. That sum of money alone should be a guarantee that Eventim would stop at nothing to ensure that I have the tickets as soon as possible. Instead, I find that I have to initiate every conversation with Eventim, and even though I am bending over backwards, offering to collect the tickets in person, I'm still being met with apathy and obstinacy. Most businesses would long before this point have taken the opportunity to demonstrate good customer service, good common sense and goodwill. You have done nothing of the sort. Despite my outlining several means by which you could have rectified the situation, you chose to ignore each of them, hiding behind arbitrary policy which is clearly for the purpose of preventing ticket fraud, which does not apply here. Since the first issue of the tickets is now void, there is no potential for fraud. I have offered to provide as many forms of identification, proof of purchase and proof of address as required, and of course I have paid in full. If anyone is guilty of ticket fraud, it is Eventim. You have taken my money and given me nothing in return. I can now have nothing but negative criticism to say of Eventim, the fees they charge, and the absence of service they provide in return. I shall avoid booking any tickets through Eventim or any companies affiliated with Eventim from now on, and I will advise others to do the same. A week later, I'd calmed down a bit and resigned myself to having tried everything, and just thought that I would have to put up with this and put up with the stress, and if the worst came to the worst and the four of us didn't get in, I could always take legal action. And then I got this reply today. Thank you for your email. I apologise for any frustration this has caused you. The situation with tickets is that once they have been printed and dispatched, we cannot reprint or redispatch them. Says who? You opted for standard delivery which is not trackable. Yes, this is true, but it is deliverable, and I did pay a lot of money to cover any event where I didn't get them. Most of the time I would get the tickets and that money would be yours. You keep that. When it doesn't happen, at least you're not making a loss when you cover it with a recorded delivery on the second attempt. We inform the venue each night of any box office collections or lost tickets for that evening's performance, and the venue will reprint tickets when the customers arrive, subject to valid ID. Right, but I already offered to present any ID necessary when collecting them today, tomorrow, as soon as possible, really. You know, the date doesn't really matter, except it inconveniences me because it leaves everything to the last minute and I have to worry up to that point. Your information will be passed to the venue as indicated above, and this is a standard procedure. Okay. It's standard, yeah, for when things work. And then you have procedures for when things don't work that aren't standard. They're special procedures, and you need to have them too. The collection of the tickets should be a swift operation provided that you have photographic ID and payment card. Please don't pin this on me. I mean, yeah, I will bring all that because that's normal, okay? Can't you do something that's sensible? That'd be nice, you know. And you say it's a swift operation, but nothing's been swift up to this point. Your track record's not great. This is the only option available. Is it? Bollocks! I once again apologise for any inconvenience. I don't think you know what the words apologise or inconvenience mean. Kind regards, Stuart James, Customer Service Manager, Eventim UK Limited. Oh, what's the point in getting angry again? So I got very flippant, having been reading a lot of David Thorne's email conversations, which I highly recommend, by the way. I'll put a link down there this week. That possibly had some influence on what I wrote in response, although I'm nothing like as clever or as funny as him. Dear Stuart, thank you for taking the time to repeat to me the same nonsense with which several of your colleagues have already attempted to fob me off. Since you all seem so convinced that there is nothing unusual about a ticket agent whose primary function as a business is to deliver tickets to customers, being incapable of delivering tickets and prevented by some unnamed force from initiating any method of solving occasional problems with delivery, even when customers describe several means by which such problems can be solved to everyone's satisfaction, I will reluctantly accept your premise while laughing in disbelief at how poorly run your organisation is. I look forward to receiving the refund of all fees paid in association with this booking in excess of the ticket prices. Since you've declined the opportunity I presented you by paying these fees to provide the booking and delivery services to do your primary purpose as a business, and to demonstrate the value of the role of such agents as yourselves in the processing and delivery of tickets sufficient to justify the substantial fees you charge, you will of course be refunding the £19 booking fee and £2.50 delivery fee, which were paid on the understanding that they serve to ensure a satisfactory and prompt delivery of the tickets ordered, and negation of any anxiety leading up to the day of the event with respect to whether or not I would indeed be able to gain admittance to the event I'd paid good money to attend. Yeah, that's a long sentence and there are lots of commas in it, but they're all clauses that fit together, okay? That's how you do comma splices. Right, anyway, please notify me when the money has been refunded. This refund will go a long way towards me re-evaluating my opinion about the honesty and goodwill to be found in Eventim. It's currently valued at 0. And with it, the possibility of me ever engaging in any business related to Eventim in the future. Also currently 0. Also, in light of accepting your premise, which as explained above indicates a poor understanding of customer service and business relationships on the part of Eventim, as well as how they translate into profit and success for the business, I will, in case it is necessary, point out that my repeat business and positive word of mouth has the potential to bring many booking and delivery fees to Eventim for the foreseeable future. A simple expense of recorded delivery would have cost less than the £21.50 refund you will now be paying, and had it been undertaken as soon as it was suggested by me, or ideally as soon as Eventim were notified that the tickets had not been delivered, the goodwill gained would have been enormous and translated into many booking fees received from me and those to whom I recommend Eventim based on their excellent customer service. Even though it is no longer a possibility for this booking, the refund issued at this stage will at least bring you a goodwill value enough to offset the £21.50 you will be parting with and opportunities in future to build a positive reputation. So you will still be into profit with a good likelihood of there being a next time where you may get it right, as it were. I do hope it is not too painful for you to read something as patronising as the above, but I'm afraid this is the only option available. You have a good day now.